That's right. You've pressed play on All the Right Moves, a limited series from the Director's Chair Network about the filmography of Edgar Wright. And here we are, the penultimate movie in the filmography as we anxiously await for the Running Man to arrive. But that doesn't excuse us from having to talk about Last Night in Soho. So I saved the best for last, everybody. Please welcome Tony from Hack the Movies to discuss Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. Tony, how are you?
I'm doing great. I finally watched Last Night in Soho. You finally
Yeah.
got me to do it. I don't know. I think I told you behind the scenes, but like every time I review an Edgar Wright movie, I have to remind the audience that I still haven't seen Last Night in Soho. I
Oh,
keep meaning to. I just suck. But you
and
finally
now
did
now
it.
you know why you've been putting it off for so long.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But
Good. Okay.
it's okay.
But
You did it.
it's a big departure
Yeah.
from maybe everything that you would come to expect.
I thought Baby Driver was a pretty big departure for him too,
It
to be
was.
honest. Yeah.
And he's whatever, trying to grow as an
Yeah.
artist and do something different, not do the same thing over and over again as far as,
Mhm.
Shaun of the Dead version 4 with,
Yeah.
now we're in outer space fighting an unbeatable horde of aliens in a comedic way.
Yeah.
So you gotta do something different,
Yeah.
and this is co-written because one of the things that I've really been grasping as I've gone through these recently
Mhm.
is the relevance of who co-wrote the movies with Edgar.
Okay.
Because Sean and Hot Fuzz, World's End, these are all Simon Pegg,
Yes.
and that personality that shines through, that sense of humor that everybody really enjoys,
Mhm.
is so much of that is Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Because once you get to Baby Driver, where that was only Edgar. He had no writing partner for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how much you remember about Baby Driver,
You know
but
what's funny?
yeah.
I love Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright. Like, I
Mhm.
rewatch his movies a lot. Baby Driver, I saw once in the theater. I thought it was very good, and I went, "That's all I need." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't really need to rewatch it." Maybe I will at some point, but I never had the urge to rewatch Baby Driver
Mhm.
like the way I watch a lot of his other stuff. And I like
Yeah.
that was the weird thing. I liked Baby Driver, just not enough to own it or rewatch it.
Mhm.
It was like a weird experience for me. I felt the same way, 'cause as you know, I love my, best friend Christopher Nolan, we're best pals,
Yeah,
but
right.
I felt the same way where, like, I loved all his stuff, and then, like, Dunkirk came out, and I went, "Eh, it's alright." I was like, "I
Yeah.
don't feel like watching it again."
Yeah.
That was what you call Baby Driver was my Dunkirk for Edgar Wright.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That because I
Mm.
honestly we just released that one on before this one,
Yeah.
and when I was watching it, I just had that feeling that I don't care about the character Baby at all. There's no the way that in Shaun of the Dead they talk about their record collection and video
Yeah.
games and they really make these characters three-dimensional. That was completely absent in Baby Driver, and it's the perfect point to make about
Mhm.
the co-writer and why Simon Pegg's character creations of Sean and like the great performances that are nuanced between Sean and Hot
Yeah.
Fuzz and World's End. Like Nick and Simon Pegg are doing very different character work in
Yeah.
each one of those movies that are basically just kind of the same movie over and over again
Yeah.
with a different theme,
Yeah.
But their acting is fantastic. So now you remove Simon Pegg and Nick Frost from, like, let's say they were in Baby Driver.
Yeah.
It probably would have been a way better movie, but because it's only Simon worrying about the visual, like the way that the visuals sync up to the audio, and it's all very amazing.
Was
The
cool, but
Yeah.
again, it was cool, like, the first time, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't know what it is because I love car stuff. I love car chases and everything, but for some
Mhm.
reason, I was just like, "You know what? Fine. One and
Yeah.
done. Don't need it."
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. He does it in so many movies,
Yeah.
very well in a more special way. And in Baby Driver, it's just kind of hollow, where you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I wish that there was that John Hamm and John Barenthal were in this movie a lot more because
Yeah.
once they're not on screen and it's just Baby. It's becomes very
It's
forgettable.
it's a weird thing where it, like, swaps villains, right? Like, isn't Jamie
Mhm.
Foxx, like, the villain, and then it becomes John
Right.
Hamm? I and
Correct.
sometimes that can work. For
Yeah.
me, I remember that not working. I was
It
like,
wa it was bizarre. It was very, like,
it's a
ta
swing."
it felt tacked on at the
Yeah.
last minute
Look,
kinda
it's a
thing.
swing. It again, it could work. Might go for it. For me, it didn't land. I'm like, I was kind of more invested in the Jamie Foxx thing, and
Mm.
I didn't really
Yeah.
care about John Hamm. So when he became the bad guy, I was like, whatever. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to
No.
talk about Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
The only reason we're recapping this is because now we've
Mm.
I've watched them all, and
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that what makes Shaun of the Dead so great is Simon Pegg's character development and writing of that. And
Mhm.
then you get Scott Pilgrim, which was co-written by Michael Bacall,
Yeah.
who is also co-writing Running Man,
Okay.
which is
Oh,
significant. That's
yes.
very significant to
You know,
me
it's funny.
because
He's an actor too,
yeah, he's
and
in Inglorious Bastards
he
and
is. But
a lot of things, but
recently we did. Hold on. I was make sure it's the right guy. Recently, we reviewed Urban Legends Final Cut, the sequel to the slasher movie Urban Legends.
oh,
By the
he's
way
in that?
by the way, way better than the first movie.
I
It's
don't hate
hilarious.
that. I've seen that a couple of times. I don't
Yeah,
hate
it's a
it.
fun slasher. Urban Legends Final Cut is fun because it's a slasher in film school and it's all
Yeah.
about film. And I went to film school. I'm like, I never saw the sequel before, but yeah, he's an actor in that. He's Anthony Anderson's like best friend in that movie.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Now I remember that. Because
yeah.
yeah, he'll like turn up here and there. He's in
Mm.
whatever Death Proof and
Um,
it's certain
And the cool thing with,
things.
actually real quick, the cool thing with, like, Scott Pilgrim was it was also based off a comic, but a comic that wasn't done yet. So that was a
Yeah.
fun thing with that movie, so, like, that's why and it's funny, I don't know if you mentioned it that, like, both, like, the comic and the film were borrowing from each other for the ending.
No, I
Uh
didn't know that.
so
Okay.
obviously yeah, obviously the movie made its own ending, but it knew what the author was trying to do, but then the author liked some of the stuff the movie was doing, so
Mm.
in the last book for Scott Pilgrim, Ramona was wearing the dress because he liked how it looked in the movie. So it was funny how, like, they ended up influencing each other.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
The way, kind of the way that
Yeah.
probably like George R. R. Martin
Yeah.
had to work some shit from the show into the book or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Brian Lee O'Malley, the comic creator,
Mm.
his writing was
Yeah.
so significant. They used a lot of that in
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. So again, that's what makes Scott Pilgrim special.
Mm.
The same way that Simon Pegg makes Shaun of the Dead special.
Yeah.
Brian Lee O'Malley and Michael Bacall made Scott Pilgrim very different from
Mm.
Shaun and Hot Fuzz, but is my favorite Edgar Wright movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
It
So
is.
I've
Nice.
said it from the beginning. And as a bass playing video game geek, that I could very much relate to Scott Pilgrim.
No, I
So
totally get that. I love the movie. I know it's,
yeah,
like, cool to hate on it, but I feel like a lot of people who hate on Scott Pilgrim didn't actually watch
people
the
hate on
movie.
Scott Pilgrim. These people don't know
Yeah,
what
they
they're
make fun
talking
of,
about.
like, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing, but also, like, the
Well,
movie was kind of critical of that as well. Like,
well, that,
the movie was making fun of that, character and how, like, they're not great, they won't save your life.
oh, that's exactly the point that we made when we talked about Scott. I mean, you haven't had a chance to see it yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the episode that I did with producer Chris,
yeah,
I pointed out both Scott and Ramona suck.
yeah, and that's, like, the point. The point is that they had to take accountability, but
Yeah.
I think some people don't actually watch the movie and then they just assume. But anyway.
The movie's fucking amazing, but
Mm.
I guess I want to ask you, since we're kind of at the end of the discussion of all of these films, what is your favorite Edgar Wright movie?
I'm just gonna be safe and say Shaun of the Dead. That
That's
is
a
the one
good
that made
safe
me
bet.
that is the one that made me fall in love with him. I am a horror guy. I love the George Romero zombie movies. So that one just hits everything for me. If we're going
Mhm.
best overall, it's definitely the show Space. If we
Yeah.
include TV, it's definitely the show
Yeah.
Space, 100%. But
Yeah.
no, out of the movies, it's definitely Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then Scott Pilgrim,
Yeah.
and then World's End is pretty good.
They almost go in order,
Yeah,
honestly.
almost in order. World's End is good, but I don't rewatch that one as much.
I think
Uh,
I'd prefer to watch Baby Driver over World's End personally, but
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch Baby Driver again. But yeah, I will say, I think after Scott Pilgrim and World's End, I think I'm gonna rank Last Night in Soho there. I actually really enjoyed it.
hmm.
Way more than I thought I would.
Oh, great.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dead, that was like a hugely influential film for me. Came at like the perfect point in my life in high
Mhm.
school and everything while I was getting into learning about behind the scenes, especially when it came to horror and the Romero movies. I
Yeah.
went to a convention, I got it early because it wasn't in America yet. So like everyone
Oh,
was seeing in theaters and I had a bootleg of it.
nice.
So yeah, that'll always be the gold standard for me, is Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. And I have a very special place in my heart for
Mhm.
Sean. When you can do both things, like the light and the dark, so well, that's what every other movie that tried to duplicate the
Yeah.
success of that always fails at.
Mm,
So I think you're right. It's such a strong debut
mhm.
that it's hard to beat,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much beloved. I don't know a single person that would say that's not a good movie.
I'm
So
sure there's some asshole out
some
there who
some
does.
contrarian
Some
dick.
contrarian dick.
But
Uh,
I'm glad you brought up Spaced though, because
yes.
we have been doing segments about Spaced, and
Mm,
we're getting very close to the end with episode 5 and episode
mm,
6 of season 2, wherein episode 5 starts with it's kind of like a 24 Jack Bauer
mm.
intro where they're being chased by some kids.
Oh. What do you think we should do?
Let them have it.
That are trying to get
Oh, I remember that one.
skins
Yes.
weed.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Okay. I've seen Spaced a million times, but you
yeah.
you blindsided me with this.
I
So I
know,
have the
I
description up here now. That's the one with the car keys. That they're trying to get home to get their house keys.
yeah,
Got it. Got it.
and you get Dwayne,
Mm,
Peter Serafinowicz's character shows up after, not being in the series since the paintball episode in season
And
1, which is maybe the best episode of the series.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Actually, what was it this season with the male telepathy with the gun shooting?
That's this episode, yeah.
Wait, that's this episode?
Yeah, that's episode 5. Yeah,
Okay. Fun fact.
yeah,
Uh I made a short film in film school about how I loved that episode and I
yeah.
tried to like do it in real life and like the whole thing is me doing fake gun stuff and no one in the film lab reacting because they don't know what I'm referencing.
Yeah.
And I remember like I tweeted it to Edgar Wright and like he put it on his blog and like
Oh.
it blew up briefly. I'm like, wow. He like friended me on I might still be friends with Edgar Wright on Facebook. He doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, so that was like a cool mode. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then
Mhm.
like 2 days later, he put out the trailer for Scott Pilgrim, and that killed all the views for my video because they were only coming from that blog. Anyway, so I love this episode with the male telepathy and everything. That's probably one of my favorite space moments ever.
If a group of women spend enough time together, their menstrual cycles synchronize.
Yeah, but men have got that too.
Mike.
No. Men have got an unspoken telepathy, a biological connection between male psyches. Whether they know each other or not, put a group of them together, always the same.
What do you mean?
Should we show him, Tim?
Mike, I really am not in the mood.
Oh, shit!
Tits.
You ready?
This
Yeah.
is a solid episode. I love this episode.
Yeah, there's great moments. I really like drunk Daisy doing Elvis.
I don't wanna be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough.
Yeah.
Then you do get that bathroom scene with the teens that is basically the same scene as World's End.
You having a good night?
What?
Are you having a good night?
Yeah.
when Gary King is trying to ditch his childhood friends and hook up with the local teens because his friends don't want to party with him anymore. So that really reminded me of that.
One thing I like about this, you said Peter Cervantes was in it. I love when he quotes Darth Maul and they put red light on his face to kind of make
Yeah.
fun of him that he was Darth Maul.
Yep.
Because at that point they very much hated Star Wars.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Jar Jar Binks hate and episode 1 hate in
Yeah.
this series.
And then they put Simon Pegg into Star Wars, and now he pretends that people care about the black girl from Obi-Wan, even though no one does.
Yeah.
You see him out there, it's like, I can't believe people don't like this character. I'm like, Simon, 20 years ago, like, what was the point of that character? That was stupid. Her plan was to bonk Darth Vader on the head. Why'd she think that would work? But now he gets paid by them. So he's like, guys are just mean to the stupid Obi-Wan.
Yeah, not such a big deal.
Private, you hated me, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why are you defending it?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine because I like to. Edgar loves a running gag and he loves carrying things over from
Yeah.
Spaced into his films. So I would pointing out what has been rehashed from Spaced and that the red light and then even that I like pointing out the references too. So you get the Frozen Jack Torrance Shining reference at the end when they're sitting outside.
I'm cold.
Which I enjoyed that as well. And
you get the Jurassic Park reference too, the clever boys.
yeah. Yeah. So and that is why Spaced is so much fun.
Yeah.
I was talking about how much I think that Edgar back then was influenced by Kevin Smith and the Clerks dialogue, like what Kevin Smith was doing with dialogue in Mallrats and Clerks, because this is maybe 2 or 3 years after that.
Yeah.
And it's got all the comic culture, all of the pop culture references that
Before it got annoying.
Right.
Eventually that kind of stuff, people started overdoing it. It ended up not feeling organic. You get like Big Bang Theory. It's like, well, no, these people are referencing it because they like that stuff. And then you had writers just pulling up nerdy references and shit.
Yeah.
And that's how you get like cringe shit like Vito Gesualdi's Super Killer. Like you need to actually care about American superheroes to make these kind of jokes. You can't just be an anime video game guy who's trying to do superheroes because you think you'll get a movie at some point.
Yeah.
You're not going to get. But
that's
anyway,
because you're trying to troll Eric July.
Yeah. But it's fun when you go back to watch Space and like the first 3 Edgar movies. Like, wow, it wasn't cringe yet. Other people then made it cringe.
And there's a way to do it properly that is endearing. And that's why Simon Pegg's writing was so good and so significant to the success of Spaced and Shaun and Hot Fuzz. So, and then just to recap episode 6, this is the second last episode. It's Daisy's birthday. That starts with, it reminded me when Brian is developing the pictures of David Fincher, maybe like 7 or 8mm or something.
Oh, wait.
That kind of vibe.
When he's developing the pictures, no, I think that's an Omen reference.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, in the Omen, the photographer, he's developing pictures and he sees like omens of how the people are going to die. I think it's a reference to the Omen.
That's a better pull because it's an omen of what's going to happen with everybody's relationship.
Andy, I'm starting to think, did you not watch this on your Space season 1 and 2 DVD box set?
I did not.
Well, if you did, you could have put the reference subtitles on where they mention what every single reference is in the show.
Interesting.
Yeah,
what an amazing feature that is.
There's a subtitle track that literally tells you every single reference in the show as they appear on screen.
Interesting. Apropos of nothing, I did watch a YouTube video about where all of the Beastie Boys samples come from, and they play like the Beastie Boys song, and then what the actual thing is sampled from. That was an interesting watch, but I could see how. You know what I'd like to do is try and get as many as that I can get, and then see the ones that I missed.
Real
That
quick,
would be good.
you're gonna want to get that box set. It's actually really good. They have like guest commentators. So they like Quentin Tarantino is a guest commentator on the episode where they reference Pulp Fiction, and it was an accident. They had him on the episode for a different reason. They forgot it was the Pulp Fiction reference with the Pop Tarts and everything.
How funny.
Patton Oswalt's in it when he used to be funny.
Oh yeah.
That DVD is worth it. Look, Bill Hader's on it, and he talks about like in Hot Rod, they were watching like season 2, and someone came to interrupt them, and they were like, "Get the fuck out!" because they wanted to watch the end of Space because they finally got a copy of it. I don't know why I'm plugging the Space DVD box set, but everyone should get it.
Because it's fantastic,
Mhm.
and it would be remiss of me to not mention that Ricky Gervais is also in episode
Yeah,
6 here.
yes.
The guy that fucks up Marsha's post for the flat.
Because
So
he's not paying attention. The girl's Marsha's telling him like what she wants for the tenants. And so he's like flirting with a girl, and I think she says professional couples only.
yeah,
And he accidentally writes it into the thing. So
Yep.
the whole like catalyst for everything was Ricky Gervais not paying attention.
Oh, it's professional couple only.
Sounds nice.
Professional couple only. Professional couple only. Professional couple only. Professional couple only. Professional couple only.
Sorry about that, Mrs. Klein. Is that everything? Great. That'll go in tomorrow.
yeah.
And I love when Marsha goes, I don't think he was paying attention to me.
Certainly wasn't. And then, yeah, so then I don't know. I just like to point out the Logan's Run reference, and and it ends like Empire Strikes Back. So
Mhm.
these are all you beloved properties that Edgar loves to shoehorn into space
Yeah.
and makes everybody feel like that we're all friends together because we all like the same things. It's a very clever way to endear yourself to your audience. So.
Yeah.
And then that leaves off with you're wondering if Tim is Daisy's going to admit her feelings to Tim and if they're going to end up together for the last episode. So
And like Marsha runs away at the end, right? They have to like find her.
yeah,
Because it ends like Empire that Strikes Back, I think. They
right.
do, like, the same
Mike and
pose.
Brian go off to try and find
Yeah, and
her.
I think if I remember right, one of them is like wearing white and black or something.
Yeah, Brian is dressed like Han Solo. And,
Real quick. So plug the DVD box set once again. You're gonna want to watch the behind the scenes documentary that's featured on it because it has the official ending of Spaced at the very, very end of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep, they secretly work in an epilogue at the end of the behind the scenes documentary, and it's considered the official ending of Spaced.
Okay, I'm gonna have to track that down for the very last episode.
Or I'll rip you a
this.
copy of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Send it to me, and I'll include it when we finally do the review for The Running Man, which is something that usually I do this at the end of the episode, Tony. But I don't even care about. No, let's save it for the end. I do want to talk about Running Man, but let's get through Last Night in Soho, just because we're obligated to. We could talk about Spaced and all the other movies that we love.
You know how many times in my life I've derailed things by talking about space? This is just one of the many, many times. But yes, Last Night in Soho. It's fresh in my brain.
Yes.
I'm pulling up all the characters' names because I forgot them. Hold on.
Yeah, Eloise is basically the only one you really need to know. But
I just don't want to say things like the black guy. So I want to make sure I have the characters' names up. Thank you very much.
Black Pete Davidson. That's what I call him. But I did start off trying to express the significance of the co-writer, and the co-writer for Last Night in Soho is Christy Wilson Cairns, who is significant because she wrote 1917,
which I never saw. Was it good?
It is good if you like World War I movies. It was.
I don't not like them.
It's good. But I will say I watched it once and then never watched it again. So is that the benchmark of a good movie? I don't think so. I'd probably if it was good, I probably would have seen it twice.
I don't know. There's plenty of movies that I think are like great, and I kind of only want to watch them once, or at least not for many, many years. I'll be like, and I'll wait to watch that.
That's true.
But yeah, so I'm very unfamiliar with this writer. So
yeah, I was as well, and I was surprised that her other big achievement and credit was 1917. Very different movie than Last Night in Soho, which, of course, has to start with a musical number. no Edgar Wright movie is complete without some kind of
Musical
musical.
element, yeah.
I swear, one of these days he's just going to do a straight up musical. He has to. Whatever it is,
He's
put
done,
Hugh Jackman in it, and
Yeah,
his,
he's done, like, music videos and shit. He could do it. Yeah, he could do it easily.
I'm sure he could, and it
Yeah.
seems like he wants to. I don't know what he's waiting for. We'll see what he. Let's see. Is there going to be a musical number in Running Man? Where would that fit in? Probably.
Well, the fact that
game show.
it is like it's game show, there could be like a segment where there is dancing and shit. That's 100% feasible that there could be a dance sequence in it.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to say black guy, but who's that black guy that's in Running Man from? Is it from?
His name is
Severance, or
Michael Ajal. He plays John.
is
He's
he from
in.
Severance or from
Oh, no, yeah,
Fear the
black
Walking
guy.
Dead?
Sorry. The black guy from Running Man. I meant the black guy in Last Night in Soho.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
The black guy in Running Man is from Severance, which I
Right.
haven't watched, but I've seen clips of him in that show. So yeah, that'll
I
probably.
could see him doing a musical number in the Running Man.
Yeah.
Okay. But I digress. Like Carmen.
I digress.
So yeah, this is the introduction of Eloise Turner, or Ellie, whatever. Thomasin McKenzie is that actress's name, who I'm not very familiar with, but I found her very charming in this movie.
Her voice irked me the wrong way. She's very bubbly and whatnot. I have only ever seen her in one other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
The bitchy girl in this movie was in another movie I watched. And for years I thought it was this Thomasin girl because I hadn't seen Last Night in Soho yet. But I'm wrong.
I see.
Never
Okay.
mind. When we talk about the bitchy girl, I'll bring up the movie I saw her in.
Sure.
But yes, Thomasin, I haven't seen her in anything. I guess she played a character in Hobbit 3. I haven't seen her in anything.
Yeah. I don't really remember from much of anything either, but she gets accepted to fashion school in London, so she leaves her sleepy English town, and
you can't forget that they introduce early on that she has the shining.
Boy, you read my thoughts. You've got the shining.
You mean shining?
Shh! You want to get sued?
And she can see ghosts. That's like this is very Stephen King, where it's just like, oh, and by the way, this character, they got the shining and they have some kind of special ability. Let's get back to the story. It's very Stephen King. Like every Stephen King story, someone has a little bit of the shining. They call it different names.
Yeah.
But that's her thing. She can kind of see spirits.
It's also innocuous too, because she leaves her childhood home where her mother committed suicide. We don't do this like in a linear way, Tony. So don't worry about like skipping to the end or talking about something that happens later. But and I'm bringing that up because she sees her mom when she's leaving her bedroom, and then you don't see the mom again in any single way until the very end of the movie. So it was only to really establish that she has some sort of premonition, psychic visions that don't really seem to, like when you say it's like The Shining, but and then she's like lucid dreaming, or it doesn't really seem to be the same thing. I started equating it to Inception, where she's like in a dream within a dream, where that's kind of bleeding into reality sort of stuff.
It's because what I think it is, this particular version of The Shining. Again, if you read enough Stephen King, there's many different versions of The Shining. They don't always call it The Shining. I don't know why. I just decided this is The Shining. Fuck it. I guess her thing is that she can communicate with the dead, and knowing the twist at the end of the movie, there's so much dead in that room that she's able to like go into so she's like going into the memories of these dead people. She thinks it's the dead girl, but these dead people. So she's able to like communicate with them because I don't think they can just straight up talk to her. Like her mom can't actually talk to her. They just give them, like look. So I think that's like them asking for her help, kind of. And the best way they can do it is have her go into dreams and have her experience the story.
Yeah,
but because she has this ability, she's able to do that. No one else can.
Right, and I want to maybe ask you, not that I'm expecting you to this answer, but I feel like it's a plot hole since, like I said, spoilers. It turns out that the Anya Taylor-Joy Sandie character isn't actually dead at the end. So when we're saying that Ellie can communicate with the dead, and she is seemingly living this life of Sandie,
Mm.
who is not actually dead. So
But
it's just that's my point is that her abilities are innocuous
but
and they
everyone
don't really lend them like it doesn't do you any
but
favors
listen,
as a
listen.
viewer of the movie.
When she meets Sand the very first encounter she has through Sandy's body is her meeting Jack, who is one of the ghosts. There's nothing before that. So I think that is like I mean, obviously, there's some wiggle room because they want it to be dramatic and a mystery and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe the ghost can go into Sandy's memories and bring them along with her.
Yeah.
Again, they can't like actually talk. It takes to the end of the movie for one of them to get a line of dialogue
Yeah.
out. So I think the best thing they're doing is like, let's just start at the beginning. Who died first? Jack? Okay. We're gonna take her to a memory of Jack.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. So, all right, let's backtrack a little
Yeah.
bit. She gets to London before anything crazy happens, and she has her bitchy roommate that you brought up.
Yes,
And
Jocasta, played by it's spelled all weird. Hold on.
but I like that you sent me a screenshot and you were saying, I don't understand what the fuck anyone's
Okay,
saying
I
in
watch
this.
a lot of like British television and British movies, but these yapping broads with their thick accents and whatever the British version of a Valley Girl is,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck are these bitches saying? I had to put subtitles on.
Yeah, it was a little hard to understand them.
Sinove Carlson. But the O is like one of those stupid O's with a line through it because it's all like European.
Yeah.
She was in a movie called Black Cab with Nick Frost about a haunted cab.
Taxi cab?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very good. It's not very good.
Really?
It was a unique role for Nick Frost to take.
I was gonna
applaud
say I'll
him.
watch Nick Frost in anything.
I'd say check it out just for his performance, but the movie, it's one of those where at the end of this movie, I got it. I mean, the mechanics of how the ghosts are doing stuff are a little confusing, but I remember at the end of Black Cab, I went, "What the fuck was that? I didn't understand any of that shit." But that's the only thing I know this actress from.
Okay.
And because her and her friends dress up as the girls from The Craft, I finally had an excuse to wear this light as a feather, stiff as a board shirt that a fan sent me. Andy, I have a fan who for years now has been trying to get me to review The Craft Legacy. Do you want to see how bad he wants me to review The Craft Legacy?
That's a sequel to The Craft?
Yeah, he sent me 3 copies of The Craft Legacy.
I didn't even know that that was a thing.
Yeah, it didn't
Okay.
do very well, Andy. It didn't
No.
do very well.
And I like The Craft, so
He keeps wanting me to review it. He found a book, a coffee table book about the Philadelphia Art Museum, and he sent it to me, and I didn't get why he sent it to me until a day later when I realized the title of the book was called Crafting a Legacy. He was subliminally messaging me to review The Craft. I haven't done it yet. I don't know
out of
if I ever
spite.
will. I don't know if I ever will, Andy. I want to see how
Yeah.
many more things he'll send me.
How many copies of that movie do you need?
But anyway.
No.
Yeah,
so
Jacasta's
that
a bitch.
right, and this is the catalyst to get Eloise to move out of her dorm room and into the haunted flat of what is the lady's name?
She has a misleading name. Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Miss Collins on Good Street. Alexandra Collins
Yes.
is the landlady of the haunted
But they have like
apartment.
I know that is her full name, but she has like a weird thing in front of her name. Hold on, let me find
I
it.
know. And they keep like throwing it in your face at the end of the movie to be like, get it? Huh?
Yeah, they're just calling her Miss Collins, but there was something else that's why it wasn't super obvious at first.
Yeah.
But yes, I get it.
And
now.
this is what I was saying previously that the power, Eloise's powers don't make sense because this old landlady is Sandie, who that Eloise starts dreaming and like living her previous life. She is obsessed with London in the 60s as inspiration for her fashion designs. And at first she's very charmed by going back in time in this dreamscape. But
by the way, I love how this is all shot. I love like when she's under the bed and it goes on for like ever, and I love all the use of the mirrors and stuff was really, really cool. I know Edgar Wright, he's like real meticulous on how he films stuff. This must have been a fucking pain in the ass
yeah.
to shoot and edit and digitally composite and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But it's pretty flawless. I enjoyed the whole thing. I really,
Yeah.
really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he definitely takes all of the tricks that he's learned in all of these previous movies and employs them in a very different and effective way. Like you were saying, with certain shots, but also when it kind of looks like a reflection, but one is Anya Taylor-Joy and the other one is the Ellie character.
Yeah.
And they'll do like that person when the dance sequence when somebody will like walk in front of the camera and then and they switch places. So all of that fast cut editing that is, the meticulous, the menial task edits of Hot Fuzz are basically built out to very, planned out, impressive editing shots in Last Night in Soho.
And
it's a beautiful film.
Yes, and in case anyone was wondering, this is before Anya Taylor-Joy cut her cheeks off. Which I got very nostalgic for 2021. I was just like, oh yeah, she still had her cheeks. Awesome.
I would love to see a time lapse evolution of Anya Taylor-Joy from was that Spliced, where she's like the alien.
She wasn't in Spliced.
Not Spliced. What is it? She's like the imprisoned hybrid human in
Split.
Not Split.
Yeah, no, she's the girl in Split. She's not.
Oh no, you're right. She is in that too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one where she's the alien in the prison, and then she escapes and is like killing the scientists that were experimenting on her. Morgan is the movie I'm thinking of,
and she's in it.
Yeah, she's the alien.
I never heard of this movie.
It's basically what I described, but a different name, but not called Splice.
From 2016.
Oh yeah, Kate Mara is like this corporate lawyer investigator agent that is trying to like discover whether or not their IP of this alien hybrid Anya Taylor-Joy Morgan character is a liability. And
I gotta check that out.
It's not bad. Anyway, I'm not crazy. I just forgot the name of the movie.
You're right. Also, your description of kid in gray hoodie alien didn't really help Google search.
Yeah. Is that E.T.?
Which is funny because it is the poster. It is her in a gray hoodie, but on a tiny thumbnail, I couldn't tell.
Right.
Don't let it out, Morgan.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to see a time lapse supercut of Anya Taylor-Joy's appearance from Morgan to present day.
By the way, in this movie, she looks pretty normal. There are some parts where she has sunken in cheeks, but I just looked up like the premiere of the movie and her cheeks were like gone. I'm like, oh, so after the movie, maybe she just got rid of them.
I think she's a beautiful woman.
Still would.
Yeah,
I
right.
just think it was unnecessary. I'm like, why did you do that? You didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Who is the doctor who keeps doing that? I don't understand.
So then we get the great Terrence Stamp starts making an appearance. This was another big
Terrence Stamp.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this was another loophole that I didn't enjoy about the movie. You would think that if this guy was a regular barfly that was seemingly a problem for one of the young bartenders, that somebody would know the guy's name. Somebody would bring up that this is not, in fact, Jack, which they lead you to believe for basically the entire movie.
Because he's a red herring.
Yes, I know, but it's not realistic. It wouldn't happen. She wouldn't say, "Who's that fucking creep? That guy that I'm dreaming about killing people, and they'll
Well,
go, "Oh, that's I can't remember his name's like Chauncey or
that was
something."
Leslie. Leslie ended
Yeah,
up being his
Leslie,
name.
right.
I don't think she ever asked who his name is. I think she just I don't know if you know this about women, Andy. Sometimes they will come to a conclusion in their head and they won't fact check it and they'll just decide it's right. So
Yeah.
in her head, she's like, that's gotta be Jack. I'm not gonna look this up. I just assumed that it was Jack, and that's it.
Yeah, because that is something that this movie plays into. Well, there's a lot of themes to these movies, and there's a lot of themes to Edgar Wright's movies in general.
Yeah.
It's very layered and very specific. I
Mm.
don't want to get into the other movies now, but this one plays more around with, feminine youth and beauty and aging, but also like sanity
Yeah.
and free will and subconscious, and so a lot of this is significant to the main character Ellie's grip on reality
Mm.
when you look at it through the history of her mom's death and her powers, and then you juxtapose that with the arc of the Sandie character
Yeah.
and how they are parallel and how they are not,
Mm.
and how basically the whole movie is Ellie's struggle with sanity.
Yeah.
But to your point, when with just women be shopping, or just like you can't, they're just like ruled by their emotions.
Mhm.
At one point, it's just I'm watching this and I'm going, oh, so this is just a movie about vilifying men, and there's no such thing as a heterosexual relationship where the guy isn't a piece of shit.
Well, honestly, look, well, I think that's why our character, whose name we remember, and we're definitely not gonna call him the black guy, and I definitely remember his name, and
David John is the
I'm not
guy.
typing it. It's John. Yeah, I think that's why John exists to show that they're not all like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sandy got into a business at a time where all the men were terrible because she was only dealing with Johns and pimps.
Yeah.
So it's not like she was dealing with anyone better. She did meet one guy who tried to help her out,
Yeah.
and she didn't take his advice.
And he regretted it. But then he comes back for more, even though he should
Yeah.
have went running screaming down the street. But
Yeah.
it should be pointed out that this came out in 2021 on the heels of Me Too. This might as
This
well
is
just be
yes.
called Last Night in Me Too London,
Yeah.
because
Well, I have an issue with the end.
But
Where it's like they all deserved it. I'm like, okay, I don't think every single one of them deserved to be horribly murdered. I'm sure there were real assholes. I'm sure they were just like a lonely, horny guy. I don't think they were all manipulative. And also, if they were people of high stature, someone would have caught on that you were killing all of them. Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't have gotten away with it. So she was definitely killing just sad, lonely dudes at one point.
Well, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
you're not gonna take any accountability for your decisions that you made that led you to be in
Yeah.
the position that you're in, which is what does end up happening at the end. But
Yeah.
almost all the way up until the last
Yeah.
10 minutes, 5 minutes of the movie, it's just like all men are pieces of shit. But
I feel like because it was post Me Too that they kind of I feel like the original ending probably was a little bit like, "Hey, I know you might have had your reasons, but you went about this the wrong way." And you're right, the movie tries to do that, but it's more leaning toward they had it coming. You just
yeah.
you didn't know how any other way to do this. I feel like there might have been an ending that was a little bit more even, but because on the heels of Me Too and whatnot, they were like, "Well, let's play it up that they all had it coming."
But doesn't it just kind of shit on its own, like all of the table setting that it did,
Mm.
thinking while you're watching it the whole time that that's the message? Then
Yeah.
you get to the end, you realize the old lady is the killer, and
Mm.
then they walk it all back, and they're just like, "Psh, bitches be crazy,"
Yeah.
and it
Well
just like throws the whole message
well, I
of the
think
last hour and like almost 2 hours out the
again, I
window.
feel like there would have been a better movie that was just like, "Hey, shitty things happen, but then there is a choice you have to make," and she could have just, I don't know, switched careers, left town,
Well,
but she
that's another
decided
thing.
she decided to just stab and murder people, and I think in a better script at the end, they would have addressed that and shown that, the main girl, Ellie, wasn't gonna go in that route.
Mhm.
She's learning from what not to do, like,
Yeah.
But again, they made it after Me Too, so they played up the whole like it's okay.
Yeah, they really leaned into it, I feel like.
It reeks of like rewrites and
Mm.
adjusting the ending to fit what was going on at the time, which again sometimes can work. Now it feels a little dated. Now
Yeah.
it feels a little dated. After what's his face, Aziz Ansari got canceled for just having a bad date.
Yeah.
Some people started. You remember that whole fiasco?
Yes,
Did
yes.
you guys cover that on your show?
No, not yet.
Oh, dude, you gotta do that one where the girl wrote, like, a whole article, and it was just like, and then he asked me to do this, and I said yes, and even people who were, like, super Me Too and stuff were like, "Wait, so you consented?" They're like, "Your whole story is that you were just constantly consenting to things,
I
and he was
know.
asking you if you were okay with it, and you kept saying yes."
Yeah. I want to point out how much, like, some of the referential things that I really liked about this, which were the I liked the blue and red lighting of the bistro
Oh,
sign. That reminded me of
I thought you
Dario
meant,
Argento.
I
Yeah.
thought you meant the blue and red writing I
Yeah,
have here. That
yes.
was a coincidence. I just always sit in blue and red light, Andy.
Yeah, you're just bisexual.
Yes, I sit in bisexual lighting,
Yeah.
and I just imagine what it would be like to be I imagine I'm you, Andy. I see my life through your
Yeah, yeah. You're living vicariously through
I
me.
live vicariously through Andy. from
You're
all
watching the movies that I watched. But I like the Thunderball poster when she
Yeah.
arrives in old school London, and I like the fembot Austin Powers,
Well,
Anya Taylor-Joy outfit. That was delightful.
we didn't, mention it. The older what's her face is Diana Rigg, who was Emma Peel in the Avengers, the British Avengers, the spy
Thank
show.
you, thank
Yeah.
you for saying that because I knew that I recognized her from about 100 things, but I did not realize that's what she was famous
So
for.
I feel like that was, like, kind of in that era too. I do like the whole Bond girl aesthetic for the whole movie.
Mhm.
But that
Yeah.
also kind of plays into Me Too, because now people look back on old Bond movies and they're like, "Those are kinda sexist." They were accepted at the
Yeah,
time,
no shit.
but they
You
are
don't
kinda sexist.
you don't say. Is that a meme that they're taking all the guns out of the Bond posters, or is that real?
It might be real. They do that sometimes.
That's so stupid.
I remember back in, like, 2007, there was, like, a controversy with stamps because they did an Audrey Hepburn stamp, but they airbrushed out the cigarette that was in her hand, so she was just sitting like this for no reason. I
Yeah.
feel like they're just doing it to put it on, like, the thumbnails and stuff. They're not taking it out of the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That would be insane.
Yeah, it's
But
just like, "Hey, we'll not get in trouble if we don't have a gun on the thumbnail on our app," and, like, 'cause, if they're uploading it to, like, YouTube's kinda weird with guns in the thumbnail. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb, but I get it.
yes, okay. Yeah, I get it too. And I recently went to Disney World, and they have taken the the hung guy that kills himself in the lobby, like when the lightning crashes and you see the guy hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, in the Haunted
They
Mansion?
yeah, they've taken that out because I guess they don't want to,
So they
think kids think that suicide is an option, which, fair enough.
it took them a really long time to
I
decide
know.
that was problematic.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck?
It's so cool, but it's
I
like,
mean, like,
okay, let's
in
not
2020,
put that option on the table for
someone
kids.
finally went like, "Hey, you know what? That might be a little too much."
Yeah, it was, but that's what makes it so great. It's probably the scariest part of that ride, but
The one change that I do agree with, in Disney World and Disney like, the Disney theme parks alone is the only place I'll allow this, is not letting Jasmine have her bare midriff. I remember people are like, "They covered Jasmine up at the park." I'm like, "Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. There's a lot of weird dudes at that park that probably
yeah.
get a little handsy." I don't like that when they remade the movie, they put a hot babe in it and they covered up her midriff. I'm like, "What the fuck? In the movie, it's fine." What the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the it's a cartoon in one place, and then in Disney World, it's a bunch of
Yeah, when
prepubescent kids getting
when I
boners.
yeah, when I saw people
Jasmine
complain
walk
about
around half
that
naked.
yeah, when people complain about that, I was like, "Nah, it makes sense there." It was weird that they weren't doing that in the beginning.
Yeah. So then I have in my notes, is Matt Smith handsome or just tall? Because I think he does a good job of being charming and then also a creep. But when they first introduce him, I'm just like, this guy looks like a fucking Dick Tracy villain, like
Matt Smith.
without the makeup. Like he looks
Yeah.
like he should have been, with Flat Top and Al
I
Pacino.
know. Matt Smith has always looked weird to me. I mean, obviously we all love him as Milo and Morbius. But when they gave him his vampire face, I'm sure you know Morbius like the back of your hand. I don't think they needed to make it digital. They could have just given him
No,
bangs because he already looks
he's
weird.
a bizarre looking person.
But he was he's British. He's British and has nice hair.
So
And
anyone that was ever Doctor Who gets a pass into
yeah, no,
an
because
Edgar Wright film.
only this modern generation of Doctor Who fans from like the early 2010s, who were just like sad girls who liked handsome British men. Isn't it funny once they made him old and turned him into a woman and then a gay black guy, women just stopped talking about Doctor Who? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Notice when they made him like an old guy, obviously you're going to keep some of them around because some girls have daddy issues. But when they made Doctor Who a woman and then a gay black guy, every woman I know who loved Doctor Who just stopped talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
It's almost as if they were in it just because it was handsome British man.
How shallow.
It's just so funny. Talk about like not understanding your audience. Like, no, women pretend to do all that liberal stuff, but they want a handsome British man at the end of the day. What are you doing?
And at this point, Eloise is starting to imitate Sandie in real life. She is having so much fun in her dreams.
Yeah.
She dyes her hair blonde and she buys some retro clothing.
This is that pickup line where he's like, it's the least I can do. She's like, what's the most you can do? She's like, I don't know why I said that. I thought it sounded cool.
Yeah. But seriously, go down on me. So and now this is the other thing that what you brought up when we started talking about the end and how the older woman, the older version of Sandie, and her having to take accountability for the decisions that led her to be, because she wants to be a singer, like
Yeah.
she wants to be famous,
Yeah.
and how quickly from Matt Smith's Jack character saying, "Oh, I'm going to make you a star," and she auditions, and then she's just in a burlesque show, blowing guys. Like, at what point do you say this isn't what I signed up for, and
Well,
go
first off,
find a different job?
the movie should call her out for just walking in the club like, I want a headline. It's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
Get out of
yeah.
here. There's
Do you
like
wait
an
tape?
audition for- the movie wants you to feel bad because she wants to be a star and she has to work her way up as a backup dancer. It's like, yeah, that's how it happened. J-Lo was a backup dancer for Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to work your way up places.
yeah.
Tupac
Like this.
was in digital
That's
underground.
how you work your way up.
You don't always have to do that, but I'm like,
by being a whore in a shooting gallery, that nightmare
but
sequence.
I do love that we're watching this movie from a woman's point of view, because if this was a man watching it, like, oh yeah, I guess that's how she got her start. But of course, from the woman's lens, they're like, he didn't make her a star right away. She earned it by doing nothing. I'm like, of course, that would be her reaction to this.
Yeah.
100%.
And when you think that this is a female point of view empowerment or Me Too kind of movie, when they have
Yeah.
the bartending scene where even though John is the good guy in the movie,
Yeah.
he shows up at her bar and she is. It just reminded me how bartenders are forced to put up with a bunch of nonsense that is just part of their job, and even her boss at the end was like, they're supposed to tell you their problems, not you tell
Yeah.
them yours. But at the same time, it just reminded me of so many bartenders that I know that just have to sit there and listen to some sad loser talk about how his kids won't see him anymore, and he's suing two podcasters for making fun of it. No, I'm just saying all these bartenders have to listen to everybody's problems, and they're just kind of held hostage with it against their will, and that's just another layer of what's happening to Ellie in this movie on a more normal level. I feel like that's a more relatable thing than what's happening in her dreams.
Yeah.
So I
This
did
is good.
enjoy a lot of the tracks, which I know Edgar Wright puts a lot of thought into, but "Got My Mind Set on You" was one of
That
the
was a
ones
good
that I
one.
really
I
enjoyed, and
I
always
love
something there to remind me was a
yeah.
Oh, how can I forget you when
Find me.
personal favorite of mine.
And I loved, Anya Taylor-Joy's, like, rendition of Downtown.
to go downtown? Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everyone's waiting for you.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, so there's another, fun element to an otherwise kind of depressing movie about going insane,
Mhm.
and then and being forced to have sex with guys that you don't love. What a fun time we're
I
having
love
here in Soho.
again, I don't wanna victim blame, but it's just like, lady, you coulda, like, left an audition somewhere else. I don't know if everyone was in on the rapey stuff. I'm sure there was, like, a gay guy who might have been a manager that you could have
Yeah.
worked with. Like, I feel like you coulda went around, you're just like, "I've already went all in on this one guy," and it's like, "Okay,
Mhm.
well, you found out he's a pimp. Maybe look for someone who's actually in show business."
Right, but that to punctuate that, the only time anybody sorta starts to pretend to give a shit
Yeah.
is when she goes to the police station, and the
Mm.
only person that cares is another female cop.
Yeah, well, again, because she's like, "I'm having psychic visions," and
I
of
know.
course,
It's like, it doesn't
us
make sense.
men would be like, "Oh, insane."
You're
Okay.
hysterical.
But of course, the female cop is like, my crystals told me that I
Yeah,
might
yeah, yeah.
have a new experience and that my horoscope said that an
Yeah, yeah.
individual will bring something to my attention. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see why the lady cop be like, "You know what? I think she might be right." And by the
Yeah.
way, the man cop was right. A woman wasn't murdered. So technically, he was the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. And your
What
your, vagina hormones are making you crazy. Yeah, we get it. So, I just thought that was another it's not just another brick in the road that they're
Mhm,
leading you down
mhm,
before they rug pull
mm,
all of this dynamic that they're setting up to
mm.
um, make it seem like men are a problem, only to just walk it all back right at the
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
which I'm as a man, I'm glad they did, but
Well, it
it
it could be that men created her as a monster, so it's still men's fault.
okay, you're such an ally, Tony.
Well, yeah, yeah, me, the guy who does Boys Month, where he kicks the broads off his channel, is very much an ally.
Yeah.
Me, good friends with the author of Men Are Better Than Women. I'm an ally.
Because it does get very creepy with the rape sequence dream where
Yeah.
all of the faceless Johns start
Mhm.
showed up to,
That
pay
effect,
a visit to Ellie,
yeah.
and, she's trying this at this point, she's losing control of,
Mm,
she's not so much lucid dreaming
mm,
as being dragged into these dreams against her
yeah.
will. At one point, Jack just, like, drags her
Mm,
into the dream, and then now in reality, they're popping up in Ellie's
yeah.
regular life,
Well,
not just in the '60s.
well,
So
first she sees, like, the murder, what
right.
she thinks is a murder, and it happens while the guy is there, and, the landlady's like, "What the hell's going on in
Oh,
there?"
right. So do you think that wouldn't have happened if she didn't is that why Mrs. Collins said, "Don't have guys here," because if she didn't invite John there, that wouldn't have happened?
Um, well,
Or
I just think she doesn't want her fooling around with guys in the house,
mhm,
especially after her history.
yeah.
But then I think it was so intense that night because I do think the girl drugged her.
Oh, yeah,
I think
okay.
the girl might have drugged her. They almost suggest but she's like, "No, I was seeing stuff before that." I'm like, "Yeah, but it was real
Yeah,
intense that night.
yeah.
You might have got drugged and must have fucked up your psychic vision because you saw the thing wrong." But yeah, I like the effect of the ghost guys where it's like 3 guys layered on top of each other and they're like
Mhm.
cycling.
Faceless, kinda
Yeah,
like Slender Man-y looking guys,
yeah.
and, this is when so much of this movie doesn't play into all of like the Edgar Wright tropes that
Yeah.
are like the quick cut menial task stuff, or the fence gag, no cornetto,
Yeah.
and all of these, no car chase. Well, there's a little bit of the car stuff,
Yeah.
but this is such a departure from that until you
Mm.
get the who I was calling the Dead Johns,
Yeah.
which is very much like the automatons in World's End or the
Yeah.
zombies in Shaun of the Dead. This is kind of something that you would expect
It's
Edgar
like,
Wright to
yeah.
do, especially with the library scene where they're just
Where
kind
she
of like
almost
surrounding her.
she almost stabs the woman in the head.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
girl, look, I get that girl's a bitch and she might have drugged her, but I mean, from her point of view, she doesn't know ghosts are real. So
yeah.
from her point of view, she's like security. The movie still wants you to think she's a bad guy. I was like, well, I guess it was never confirmed if she drugged her. So if she didn't drug her, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that girl's just a bitch, but Ellie is definitely a problem.
Oh, yeah. At this point in the movie, she's a completely different person from the beginning of the movie.
And
Her
by the way,
clothes and her hair,
yeah,
her happiness, like she's this miserable emo kid
yeah.
now, as
By the
opposed to a
way,
country girl in the beginning.
the end of the movie, skipping ahead to the end, she gets to do a fashion show and everything. And I'm like, she didn't get kicked out of the school for trying to stab the girl in the head.
Yeah,
Which, by the way,
yeah.
I don't know. When that girl made fun of her, why didn't she just call the British police and they could have arrested her? Because they like doing that over there. They like arresting people for saying mean things.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because somebody's feelings got hurt.
Why did no one ever investigate the death of those men? They were probably investigating someone who used a naughty word instead. And they're like, this takes priority.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of watching Hot Fuzz is that now we know what the British police are actually like. And I'm like, oh, this only in the movies.
Yeah.
Only in the movie.
I guess I forgot how you just saw it, so you didn't know
Yeah.
how it was going to end. And I had watched it and I forgot how it ended. But when I
Mm.
was taking notes, I wrote, "Is sex work or are women victims?" Like, what are we? What's
Uh,
the message we're trying
I
to
don't
say
think in
here?
the 60s from her generation, she would have considered it legitimate work. Now, as a sex worker, I do have an OnlyFans. Uh, as now we know it is legitimate work.
Yeah,
But she's still using the W word, which I don't think modern sex workers appreciate so much.
yeah,
He's like, yeah, being an actress and a whore is kind of the same thing.
yeah,
I was waiting for Ellie to be like, you're not supposed to say that anymore.
yeah. Come on, Grandma. Yeah, we
I will
don't.
say I knew for sure Terrence Stamp was a red herring.
Mhm.
I kind of called that right away. And
Okay.
then when they showed like the guy in the flashback saying she doesn't belong there, and I'm like, that's gonna be Terrence Stamp.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I knew there was gonna be some kind of twist with what's her face, Sandie. But I will admit, I guess I was just so focused on being proud of calling out the red herring, I totally didn't catch that the landlady was going to be Sandie. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I celebrated so much. I actually took my eye off the big reveal.
Yeah. I think when I watched it the first time, I was like, well, who are the old people in this movie that were alive during the 60s? And I
Yeah,
narrowed it down to her.
yeah.
So I think it was one of those things where
Mm,
right before they reveal it, I figured it out. Which
yeah.
so that I felt smart. They let me figure it out. So Terrence Stamp is the red herring, and I did like the way that he died. It reminded me of the way that Kevin's. I mean, I didn't like that he died, but it reminded me of Kevin Spacey getting killed in Baby
Oh, yeah.
Driver. And you're always sort of waiting for that Edgar Wright over the top
Mhm.
violent kill
You tell her I said hello.
that is a trope of his.
It
So
takes a while for the violence to show up because then we get like the flashbacks to all the other murders and they're super bloody, but it takes a
yeah,
long time to get there.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, the end of the third act, it does start to get. Yeah, I guess that's a good point to make about this. I wonder if I would have liked it more if they had more horror forward sequences in the beginning of the movie
Mm.
because when it gets towards the end, it starts getting pretty freaky and
Yeah. No, I
a
like
haunted house. But you
I
like the
like the film.
slow burn?
Yeah, I like the slow burn. I like
Okay.
easing into it. I didn't know. I know there was going to be like a thriller aspect. I didn't know how much horror we were going to get.
Hmm.
I didn't realize it was going to be like a straight up mystery though. I enjoyed the mystery aspect of it. Like what happened to the girl? What's the twist? I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. So no, the slow burn worked for me, and the whole build up to the ghost and whatnot worked for me too.
Yeah. And I agree. I like a good mystery and figuring out why things are happening. So uh, that reveal that the old lady was actually, you thought that
Yeah.
the Jack or whoever would, I guess that is the question. Like, why were the ghosts of the dead Johns showing up? Mm, if it,
Well, I think she buried them in under the floorboards.
well, right, I know in the end when they finally reveal it why they were all there, but it's like, why was she seeing them before that? And you could just say, well, it was the 60s, they're all dead now, and
Yeah.
she's just seeing the ghosts of the
Yeah.
people that were once there.
Well, it might be like The Shining where like, the hotel learns that Danny has The Shining and they're like, "Oh shit, we should
Mm,
use it." The ghost might have been like, "Hey, there's someone who can actually like communicate with us in a weird way, sort
yeah,
of.
yeah,
Like we should all be in there giving her vision so we get revenge." And like at the end, like they're holding her down, but they want to just give her the phone. They're like, "Please no."
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess their souls can't rest until she dies.
Yeah, and they're reaching out to her for help instead
Yeah.
of attacking her, which you
Yeah.
think the whole time. Yeah, it was a little confusing, but in a way that leads to the big reveal
Yeah.
at the end, which is cool with the fire and
Yeah.
the when they're. I guess I did not like that sequence where it looked like Sandie was on the spectral staircase. It's really the old lady
Oh
chasing her
yeah.
up the stairs, and I didn't think that looked very good from a visual effects point of view. It
Oh
looked
yeah. There was some
maybe
awkward green screen in there.
unfinished, yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe it wasn't entirely
Maybe
necessary.
there were like reshoots at the end. I'm not sure
Mm.
because that's
But
usually
it,
like wonky digital effects at the end of a movie usually signifies like reshoots.
yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess I got that impression from that sequence,
You know
but
what?
it did remind me a little of the fight in Scott Pilgrim where they're on
Yeah.
it was reminiscent of
Yeah.
that. So I
You know
like that about it.
there might have been in the original ending. There might have been a scene where Ellie's like, "Hey, I get that you killed your pimp. Why did you keep soliciting men just to murder them?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seemed like you were out of it at that point, and you
Right.
clearly just became a landlord. Why did you it seems like you just like murdering." That's usually what they do in movies. Like, it happens a lot
Yeah,
in superhero movies where it's like, "Okay, I'm sympathetic to your cause, and I understand where you're coming from, but you're going about it the wrong way."
yeah.
The movie if I feel like the movie's trying to build up to that, but I feel like they rewrote it to be like, "They all deserved it, but you're bad? 'Cause you
That's what I mean.
because you stabbed the
They
guy
walk it all
downstairs.
back.
You stabbed the guy downstairs, and he's one of the good ones, so you're bad now." So
Mhm.
I guess Sandy's like, well, he wasn't one of them, so I guess I'm bad."
Well, we're right though, and it goes back to what when she first gets turned out. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, this isn't what you signed up for. Why are
Yeah.
you staying?
Yeah.
And now, all right, you've killed your pimp. Maybe you could argue that it was in self-defense.
Yeah.
Why do you continue to kill men then?
Yeah,
Except that you hate men.
she's
And
going out of her way to lure men and kill them, and it's not even
yeah,
like I mean, people will stay in shitty stuff. It's like, was she hooked? She didn't seem to be hooked. I know there were people who were hooked on drugs, but she didn't seem like one of them.
yeah.
Yeah, she was drinking a little much, but she clearly kicked that in her old
Yeah,
age.
and it seemed, but there was a lot of people getting like tying off in that nightmare
Yeah,
sequence
but
with
I don't
all
know
the
if she was one
blowjobs and
of
the
I don't know
heroin.
she was one of them, but like that's
Yeah.
like I guess that
That's how
would
a lot of people do it, though. A lot of
yeah,
pimps do that. They
yeah.
they make you, not that I know, but
Yes,
not that
please
I've done it to all my
tell us
girlfriends.
more. Tell us more, Andy, about your pimp
Yeah.
phase. We
My
all
pimp
know.
my pimp hand is strong, Tony. And, my heroin dealer my heroin connections and my pimp hand. But, so yes, you wanted to be a famous lounge singer.
Yeah.
You got turned out, but you stayed. Then you kill your pimp. Now everybody's dead. And I think now that we're talking about this, and I'm saying, why is this painting every guy as a bad guy
Mm.
and vilifying men? It's because that's the perception of Sandie that
Yeah.
she's poisoning Ellie's mind with and driving Ellie insane.
Okay.
Because Sandie is a psycho killer
Yeah.
that hates men.
Yeah.
And you just kind of think that that is the message of the movie when really it's just the motive of the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think while we're talking about this, I'm answering my own question about why this movie does such a 180 right at the end. And it's because it's to reveal the motive of the killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Maybe this movie is better than I thought.
It's good. It's good. I feel like the movie should have made it more clear at the end that she did, because no matter how tragic she is, at some point she decided to become a bad guy, and they're afraid to say that because it was so post Me Too. And they're like, well, we can't say it now because now every girl watching this is going to think she's a hero. They're not going to relate to her being like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Now you can do it the right way. Now you'd be able to do it the right way.
It wasn't clear enough that they kept cutting to the mail envelope with her real name on it.
Yeah.
Sandra, Alexandie,
By the way,
Collins. It's like this. You can show me 10 times. That doesn't mean more because you showed it a 5th time.
I love that she just had the picture of her on the. I guess she never went into her apartment downstairs. But
there wasn't any
framed picture of Anya Taylor-Joy there, and I'm like, all right. I guess for a minute, I'm like, how did she miss that? But I'm like, all right, if she was never in that room, then I'll give her a pass.
Oh, maybe she was though. When she first moved in, maybe that scene was down there. I don't know if they cut to that or not. I'd say that I'm gonna go rewatch it, but I'm not.
I might watch this one again now that I know all the pieces. I want to see if I missed anything.
Yeah,
because he does layer his movies with stuff, and this one actually got my interest. I think I might want to watch it again. Not anytime soon.
Yeah, see if there's like some breadcrumbs, like Usual Suspects type of. Because I do like to, with a mystery, feel like I had a chance to figure it out. So, and knowing Edgar, he loves Easter eggs and running gags and putting something in the beginning that's going to be relevant at the end. So, maybe it is worth a second watch. But I want to thank you for watching that one, because I know you've been waiting to get around to it, and it wasn't really
I saved it for you, Andy.
You saved me. You saved everybody else from me having to find somebody to do this one, because you said, "Oh, I want to watch." I haven't seen Last Night in Soho yet. This will be a reason for me to watch, because you were obviously one of the first people I reached out to do this, and I
had already this one, big ones. So I'm like, well, let's do one of the smaller ones.
Yeah. So you jumped in front of the bullet for everybody else that didn't have to watch this.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. Honestly, all of the other ones that I thought would be more tricky to find people to want to watch, we did World's End with Husey. So the perfect.
Well, I'm sure that was great.
Perfect guest to do a pub crawl movie with. And then Baby Driver, that was a pretty easy one to fill too. So they're all good. I've been sitting here picking these apart and saying what's wrong with and what's good. I'm saying what I like too. But while I throw all this criticism at them, it's only because I enjoy Edgar Wright so much. Pretty much all of the films that, as we get to this last episode, that we've talked about, I just like them all. So I was very excited to do this. And,
you really can't miss out with him. Real quick, I was going to ask, at some point, me and Johanna, because we did the Scott Pilgrim movie together, we kept saying we would eventually do a live episode on the Scott Pilgrim Netflix show, and then we never did. Have you ever checked that out?
I swear I've seen the first one or two, but I forgot it even existed. So I think, you know what happened? I think it was coming out like week to week.
Yeah.
And I watched the ones that were available, and then they stopped being available, and then I forgot it existed.
If at any point you want to do that, the problem with that is it's a continuation of the comic, but it has the voice cast from the movie. That would be
Yeah.
fun to do at some. We should try to do that at some
I
point.
wouldn't mind doing that,
'Cause
and I've
I
been
actually
trying.
I didn't mind that show.
Yeah.
I thought the show was fine, but
Mhm.
a lot of people watched the first episode and they were like, "Up, woke," and I'm like, "Oh, come on, guys, check it out a little bit." It's not what I would have done with the Scott Pilgrim show, but it worked. It worked for me.
Mhm.
Maybe we can do that in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least they didn't make Velma a different race or something like it. Oh, and that's something that happened in space too. I remember in episode 6 or one of the episodes, they walk in and throw the keys on the thing, and it's Shaggy and Velma.
Yeah.
And in episode 1, they compared Tim and Daisy to Shaggy and Velma, and they did like a still where they were dressed like them, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a callback to the very first episode, and I found that delightful. So,
You know what I think I might have found?
mm,
Yep, I found it. If we should do a bonus thing. The spaced unaired 2009 US pilot. They remade Space for an American audience.
really? Oh yeah.
Will 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 Saslow, I think, is the Mike character in it.
Okay.
The pilot never I remember seeing clips of it years ago,
Hmm.
but I'm seeing on Reddit now someone uploaded the full spaced pilot from 2009. I think we should take that'd
Oh,
be a fun Patreon bonus.
yeah, I wanna do that.
We should
I'll
live
talk
react.
to
Wanna
ya.
react to it live?
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's set that up at some point.
Yeah, and the Scott Pilgrim show, I kinda wanna look at some of the other tangential
Yeah.
Edgar Wright stuff, that Sightseers movie that Kaylee brought up on her latest episode.
Yeah.
And then he was very close to directing Ant-Man as well, and I
He
feel like
wrote
when
the
you
story and everything for
yeah,
it.
when you watch
That's
Ant-Man, it
really
feels
late.
like an Edgar Wright movie, so
Yeah.
maybe that could be a follow-up,
Mhm.
companion episode to
Attack
this.
the Block is good.
Oh, yeah.
Attack the
I
Block.
bring up Attack the Blo and Nick Frost is in that,
Yeah.
so did Edgar produce that?
Yeah, he produced it.
Oh,
His,
I fucking love that. The creature design of those,
yeah, if
uh,
I remember
aliens
right
is awesome.
the director of it is Joe Cornish, he's usually Edgar Wright's cinematographer.
Ha. Yeah.
Or co-writer. It looks like it's his co-writer, not cinematographer.
Mhm.
Yeah, like he helped write Ant-Man, Adventures of Tintin, and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense because I love Attack the Block. And, how did I not know that? Since even just Nick Frost is the biggest clue, but then you have the kids look like the kids in, Hot Fuzz when
Yeah, they look
they're
like
like
hoodies.
wrecking yeah, yeah. So, that makes total sense now that you mention it, but I have to ask your, hopes and dreams and opinion of Running Man.
Wow.
What is your,
Well,
thoughts about the original and your anticipation of the new
yes.
one?
Running Man, the movie, is probably my top 4 favorite Arnold movies. Let me think. Predator, obviously, number 1. Conan the Barbarian, number 2.
Total Recall?
Total Recall is good, but not up there
Not what you're
quite.
gonna say?
And, I think Running Man might be 3rd.
Kindergarten Cop? No.
No.
No, Running Man for sure for me. I remember seeing it when I was, like, far too young to be watching it on HBO at my grandmother's house, not knowing what it was gonna be,
Yeah.
and it just blowing my mind,
Yeah,
so
no, I love the original Running Man. Having said that, knowing a bunch of Stephen King fans, the one thing I hear is that it is, like, almost nothing like the book.
Right.
So, when it comes to remakes based off a source material, I'm usually more lenient. Like, everything in me should be like, "Oh, fuck that remake. Oh, fuck that." But I'm like, "Nah, if it's based off a book, I'll give it a pass," especially since as much as I love Running Man, it's not like the book. I am gonna listen to the audiobook before the new movie comes out to see how close it is.
Okay.
Because sometimes they'll use the book as an excuse for it to be different, and then it's nothing like the book and it sucks. But I am pro the new Running Man. Oh, also number 4 is Terminator 1. Yes, Terminator 1 more than Terminator 2. Because my boy Glen Powell is in it. And as you know, me and Glen Powell are like the same person. Did you know that, Andy?
Obviously.
Yes. Well, we were both.
I thought I was talking to Glen Powell this whole time.
A lot of people do, because in Twisters, he was a YouTuber, sold shirts with his face on it, and we were both in The Dark Knight Rises, and we're both extremely handsome, and our butt looks good in jeans. People often say, "Is that Glen Powell?" And I go, "No, ladies." I'm Tony from Hack the Movies. I have a beard. I'm different.
The comparisons don't end. It
Yeah.
just keeps going to
I
go.
do like Glen Powell, though. It's
I
funny.
do.
It started off as a joke, but now I'm just like, actually really I'm excited for his show, Chad Powell. I'm excited for that.
I remember him back when he was on Chad Radwell on Scream Queens on that Fox show with Emma Roberts, and he was fucking hilarious on that. So
Yeah.
I've been aware of this guy for a while, and I'm glad to see him.
The trailer for Running Man was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm like, all right, I'm on board with this. It looks like a good time.
Yeah.
I'll read the book. But I honestly, if it sucks, it's not like it's gonna ruin the original Running Man for me.
Yeah, I don't.
I really
think
enjoy the original Running Man.
enough time has gone by where I think it can be mutually exclusive, and
Yeah.
the book is different enough from the Arnold one that
Yeah.
we can enjoy this for what it's going to be and not hold it too precious to the Arnold one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a perfect story for Edgar based on what I know of the Arnold one with the various villains versus the way that like Scott Pilgrim has all the different villains that he fights. It seems like a 1-to-1 kind of pacing that Edgar is going to be able to lean into, and especially when I said at the beginning, Michael Bacall and Edgar are co-writing this one together, which and everything that I just described are Scott Pilgrim and Running Man being similar. So I think it's going to work. And if I'm wrong, then I will come on this program and admit that the movie sucked, but I don't think it's going to. And if you have a chance to watch it opening weekend, I think we're going to do a live stream where everybody that participated in the reviews of the whole catalog will have their chance to say what they thought of The Running Man. So
I'll probably dip in for that.
Yeah, I'll let you know about that. And do you have anything that you would like to plug at this time as we get to the end of the show?
Just Hack the Movies. Follow me on Hack the Movies. New episodes once or twice a week. Put out little bonus videos here and there. I've recently started live streaming games again. I don't know how consistent I'll be at the time this airs.
What are you playing?
Right now I'm playing Silent Hill F because I reviewed the first Silent Hill movie and just coincidentally a brand new game came out. So I was like, I guess I never actually played a full Silent Hill before.
Okay.
And this one is so far removed because it's in Japan or whatever. So I'm like, I guess I'll start with the one that's least like all the other ones.
You're like, Halloween 3 is my favorite Halloween movie. Okay.
Well, I wanted to play the remake of Silent Hill 2, but there's like a year-long exclusivity to PlayStation, and I'm an Xbox guy. So I'm like, I gotta wait until that runs out. Luckily, the new one was on all platforms. So I'm like, good, boom, got it. But yeah, just follow me on Hack the Movies, patreon.com/Hack the Movies. You can sign up for free. I put my public podcast feed there, so it's got better notifications. You should do that if you haven't done that yet. We'll talk about that off air. So better notifications because YouTube sucks with notifications. So all the free videos I also put on Patreon. So it's like becoming your hub for everything.
Nice.
And,
yes.
Look up where I'm going to be next. Unfortunately, not all 3 days of Monster Mania because I forgot to buy a table.
Oh, no.
So keep an eye out on where I'll be next.
Fantastic. And
Awesome.
I want to thank everybody for checking this out. Please be on the lookout for the final live stream of Running Man. I'm sure I'll take Tony's advice with notifications. So if you haven't hit subscribe, like and subscribe to this channel so you know when the Running Man episode is going to come out. And if you want to support the show financially, please find us on Patreon at bit.ly/stay sorry. And if you're thinking about missing the next episode of All the Right Moves,
Don't.